case of Trevor, we want to see what are some areas, what are the 3 areas in case we have, for in the case of Trevor Penning, should I say, we need to pay attention to while we're evaluating him.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead. What you got? Before I get into it, what you got?
Well, no, I was just saying is that for you were saying about what do we need to pay attention for, and what we need to pay attention for is his footwork, and is he able during the passing to not get overwhelmed?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the technical stuff. But what I'm looking at aside from that is, all right, here's a guy who comes from the University of Northern Iowa. Mm-hmm. That's not a top-tier Power 5 Division I school. That's an FCS school. So the level of talent that he was going against at that FCS school, the guys, we cut the tape on, you cut on his college tape, you see he's Marlon guys. He's just so dominant. Most of those guys right now are working at a plant in their city, or then got into consulting or something like that, or even
car salesman,
or slinging houses like you, Joe.
Slinging houses.
Those guys are doing those. Whereas in the case of Trevor Penning, now he's going against guys that played in the SEC and even in the ACC, the Big Ten, and they've been starting now for either 2 or 3 years. Because look at it like this: there's a time frame, right? Me and Marcus Spears was in college at the same time. We was on the same football team for 1 year. So I play on that team with those guys, and then you go to the next year 2, year 3, year 4. 2 years in it, Marcus Spears is starting in the NFL. Well, that's somebody I was competing with and against at practice, not against him in regards to who were teammates. But the point I'm making is it's a high level. The SEC, the competition you're going against at practice is high level, and in games, right? These guys are Pro Bowlers in the league, like Patrick Peterson, 8 straight Pro Bowls from when he first got in the league. Yeah. So it's that high level talent. So my thing in the case of Trevor Penning is he hasn't went against this type of talent. So it's going to take time. Yeah. That's one big thing that we have to look at in the case of him. Now, this isn't an excuse. I mean, you got to get with it or get lost. But
that's just the way it is. But I'm not trying to convict Trevor Penning and make him think to where, like, man, you need to step up in the preseason or you're done. No, I completely understand. I mean, am I like a lot of Saints fans? No, a lot of Saints fans, dude, they do not play with that. They want you to be better immediately. That's their expectations. But for me, yes, it's going to take that. Remember, he was always a left tackle, and now he's a right tackle. So he's changing it up. He's learning different stances. It's a completely way of doing different things. So he does need time to develop.
No doubt. Hey, if y'all are just tuning in, it's Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon, Big Faith Favorite Right. I'm here with Joe Picolo, Godwyn Realty, and we're talking Saints Trevor Penning. We do see it's an opportunity for him to get better here in the preseason. Yes. We're going to talk about those things in the next segment. Along with that, let's take a little dive into it, right? Into the Saints' first preseason game and what went well, what didn't go well for them. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. It's your host, Marlon, Big Faith Favorite. As I mentioned, y'all feel free to come down and slide to Small Sliders, literally 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Definitely, we representing. Y'all don't go nowhere. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello. It's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Where that? Why station at? What's that parish? Is it Terrebonne?
Where at?
Nickel State.
Nickel State?
That's Terrebonne parish?
No. That's oh my.
We're gonna figure it out.
Hold on.
Kenzie's like, I'm about to Google this.
No, it is not Terrebonne Parish.
But I'm gonna say this while you pulling it up. Shouts out to Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, and all of the parishes within our voices. And I hope our folks down at the studio not mad with us. I might get
Lafouche.
Lafouche. Shouts out to our folks down there.
Homa is Terrebonne.
Well, we was close. Well, Terrebonne too. We can say Terrebonne as well. So Terrebonne and Lafouche Parish, they all are representing as well, listening to our station, and of course out in the Lafayette area, Morgan City. We want to thank those folks for tuning in. Well, we want to thank y'all guys once again for taking y'all time to listen to us on y'all way home. If y'all just tuning in, we're talking New Orleans Saints, just going over some of the key takeaways from the game. One of the first things that was noticeable from this game, Joel, was the guys that was absent. You didn't see Marshawn. You didn't see Parsons Adebo in this game. We didn't see DeMario Davis, neither Pete Warner, who just signed an extension, one of the leading tacklers. Now, who we did see a lot of, and this is somebody I was impressed with, and I know I did mention we were going to talk a little more Trevor Penning. So, Mackenzie, we're going to go back to Trevor Penning, right? Definitely. So Mackenzie's like, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Mackenzie's like, well, what y'all talking about? But I thought Willie Gay's performance was excellent for a linebacker. Joel, you're our residential linebacker as well. Should you play that John Curtis? Mm-hmm. Man, his performance in his first preseason game.
Can we just talk about one of the first plays where he he walked up to fake the blitz, and then he just shot into the gap. It was a run play, and dude just blew it up right there. It's just the dude, he's not only I know that some of the announcers were kind of talking crazy. They're like, man, he's the size of a defensive tackle. Dude's huge. I'm like, I wouldn't say that, but he's a big dude. I would say he's like a defensive end size, but he's so quick.
A hybrid.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That dude is fast. Crazy fast. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Brian Urlacher. You remember that dude? That dude was gigantic and was fast.
A Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer too. That's my DN over here. My boy Grayson played with me at West Jeff. He's kind of fit that mold of what Your
He looked like a defensive
end.
end.
Yeah, your typical defensive end. And Willie
He
Gay,
said, he's like, yeah.
Willie Gay really gives me this hybrid defensive end outside linebacker feel too, and that's good because
and he adjusted. He made back for it because the gap that he shot would not necessarily be the best gap for a linebacker because it was the inside gap of the guard. So you would think like, oh, being it was a sweep run, that you would think like, oh, he's not going to get the offensive lineman. But right when he shot the gap and he noticed what the play was, he adjusted. And then he actually like basically right behind the offensive lineman just ran down there to adjust the play and make the tackle.
I thought Kool-Aid McKinstry showed some promise as well. I thought we might have put him in some bad positions to make plays. Looked like a couple of times we decided to go zone, and I don't think we had to, especially with his skill set. But when you saw him in man coverage, he looked exceptionally well. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for out of that player.
He broke up a pass, and on a third down play, made the open field tackle and everything, and got it to a fourth down. I mean, another guy who really stood out was Breezy. I mean,
Breezy was a dog.
He was, even though that he didn't get a sack that game, he rushed the quarterback constantly.
Hold on, he got a sack?
He did?
So what happened
I forgot about that. My bad.
The pressure played, but it almost looked like a tackle. If the quarterback would have been up like a half a yard, it would have been a tackle. But it was a great inside pressure by Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase Young.
Chase Young hit him first, so he kind of stumbled, and Breezy was able to release and make the sack. So it was a good awareness play. But to your point, he did add some great pressures.
Talk about Chase Young.
Yeah. Oh, man, this dude here, listen, he played epitome of what you want in your typical every down defensive end. And I like the way the Saints' rotation is up front right now. It has a lot of consistency. So just across the front, you have Cam, your first unit. You had Cam Jordan come out. You had Nathan Shepard come out.
Yep.
You had my man, he's been funny. Saunders. You had Saunders come out, and then Granderson.
Yeah, Granderson.
Now, in the second unit, you had Chase Young. You also had, you see what I'm saying?
That's your second unit, bro.
You get where I'm going with this?
That is so crazy.
You saw a little bit of Christian Boyd, of course, Breezy, and then Isaiah Foskey on the other end. Then they had another, like the Saints, to me, the safest spaces for this team we're talking about right now is the defensive line and the secondary.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Defensive line and secondary is just so stacked, dude. It's so crazy because how long has it been ever since the Breeze era that our defense has just been so lacking? Our offense was like game on, like top of the line, making plays, making touchdowns, but our defense was always missing something. This is one of the best defenses we are going to see for a long time.
Offensively, and I would like to, based off of the information, and shouts out to all of our journalists who took the money that they saved up all year in their stations to fly them out to Irvine, California, and spend the last 2-3 weeks out there with the New Orleans Saints and bringing us the content that we need to see. Jake Hanger has been looking good at practice. Spencer Rattler has been looking good in practice. We see these guys bring that same energy to the game. Look at the connection between A.T. Perry and Jake Hanger, right? Look at Spencer Rattler getting that first drive rally up a touchdown. That quarterback room looks consistent. You have leadership from Derek Carr. That ball kind of threw that ball in the tight little window to Chris Olave, but Chris Olave made the play. And Joe, that kind of leads me, and we do owe this to our listeners from the first segment. A big concern for the New Orleans Saints is the offensive line. I feel fine based off of the tape I watched from Oregon State, that being a high-end Power 5 team. You're playing against the likes of UCLA and, a lot of those now teams in the Big Ten. Fuaga has went against that type of competition.
Right.
I do believe he gets in and what I saw is a guy that's ready and he matches what this offensive coordinator wants. So I think he's going to be fine on that left side. That was a smart move, putting him to Derek Carr's blind side. In the case of the middle, I don't see Lucas Patrick being an issue. Nick Salaveri more than likely may earn your starting job. you're two solid guys in the middle right now on the offensive line across, as opposed to just mentioning them being interior linemen. Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy. I mean, those guys have the potential to make it to the Pro Bowl. I know Eric McCoy for sure. In the case of Trevor Penning, you worry about a couple of things, Joe. One thing you worry about is keeping the right side of Derek Carr protected. Even if the left side, a.k.a. his blind side, is protected, he still may have to roll to that weight. That's a concern. Do we have a plan B for Trevor Penning?
As of right now, our depth chart is very lacking when it comes to our offensive tackles. That's why what's his name? Justin from the Broncos.
Simmons.
Yeah, Justin Simmons. Thank you. I know that Saints fans are talking about Justin Simmons and seeing him coming over, interview with the Saints and saying like, ooh, maybe we can get a safety. But that's not what we need right now.
Right.
Dude, we need offensive tackles. So, and I know that there are a few out there that are in the free agency that is a possibility. Some of them are older, but they do have one. What's his name? He's 27 years old. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
You said a safety?
No, the offensive tackle. It's an offensive right tackle. I'm drawing a blank on him. But anyway, my biggest thing, and this is what I wanted to point out too, is that we didn't even run the Kubiak system during preseason. If you watch the preseason game, we barely ran any motions. We barely checked out of anything. We ran a simple scheme, everybody. So with this scheme that Kubiak is going to have, I think that that's going to really help out Trevor Penning to be able to get that block off to where we don't have to he doesn't have to hold the block as long as he's going to need to when we actually get into that season. So that's another thing you have to think about, everybody, when you're evaluating Penning and how he's going to do.
I mean, you may be talking about Shane Lamont. You have him, and then you also have Ali Hugo as well, some guys to just kind of think about, because he is the one who is backing Trevor Penning from Minnesota. I think he's on like year 3, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just something to really think about. And of course, lastly here, we have to consider this and maybe just take a serious look at how this may, seem here shortly. Trevor Penning is still developing. As I mentioned, he came from a smaller school. So, and I'm not knocking the small school guys at all. Some guys come right away from the small schools and they do it. But if a guy comes in from a small school and he doesn't do it right away, you're only forced to think, man, the competition is too much. Now, I know most folks may be listening right now thinking, well, hold on, man. One of our best offensive linemen in the last few years came from a small school in Teron Armstead. I know that, but he definitely came from a HBCU. Total difference between University of Northern Iowa and Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm just saying, Joe, like, I'm not trying to add that type of pressure, but I did meet old boy in person a couple times, Trevor Penning, even at the pass rush retreat. They were out there working in Dallas, Texas with us. He's big. He has potential. Big Duke, one of the top offensive position spec guys in the country, had a lot to good to say about him. So we're going to definitely pay attention to that. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. We represent over here at Small Sliders. We got Godwyn Realty in the building right now. My main man, Joe. We're representing all day, every day, and twice on them Sundays. Oh, and it's Sunday time, baby. Football is back. I know y'all all excited. So what we're going to do when we get back, we will take it around the league. Let's see how some other teams made out. I know the Black and Gold did get a win, so we want to be excited about that victory for sure, baby. Well, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest. And Big Fave Wright, and it is football season, baby. I know y'all excited out there. You heard me? I know I am excited, as we know all of our Who Dat Nation is excited. The Saints did have a big-time win. Tulane football is looking good. Can't wait to talk about them. We got Higgins football team coming through after their football practice. They're going to come have a little, yep. They're going to come have a little bit of food with us here on set. Yeah, man, we're doing an excellent job over here at Small Sliders, enjoying ourselves. And we're going to have those Higgins Hurricanes come through and join us. Man, Joe, this summer has been fun with the high school kids. We done had John Eric come through, had a couple of the Shaw players come through, Ed in the car, and now we got Higgins tonight.
Man, I'm loving this. I'm loving bringing the future football players, giving them that opportunity, being able to talk to them, and also just bringing focus onto the community, the local teams, because that's what a lot of people just don't do. They tend to forget the local teams and giving them the shout out and giving them the attention that they need.
All the time, and that's what we love here at ESPN New Orleans as well. So this is one thing we will do this football season, is a lot more high school football coverage, which that's a big-time treat, not only for those students. You know, it's cool for those kids to get the recognition that they deserve. But one thing we do love in this area, and I know all our listeners would agree to this 100%, is our high school football. So feel free to chime in too, as well, to join in on any of the subjects we're talking about. Our number is 800-998-1003. Again, that number is 800-998-1003. Call in. I know we've been talking about, the big question is, should the Saints put the pause button or stop button with Trevor Penning? Like, do we need to maybe trade for somebody, or maybe move him to the inside and maybe move a Patrick to the edge. I don't know. We just have to figure that piece out, Joe.
I mean, it's just tough. It's like when you have a guy that we picked up in the first round that has amazing potential, but it's just something. And here's the thing. Once again, we have not seen Trevor Penning in a live game with the Kubiak system and how he's going to play. This is the preseason game, everybody. Hey, you know what? In the first game, if we see this from Trevor Penning, I'll be the first one to say, you know what? This is just not clicking. We need to do something else. We need to figure something out. So, I mean, the Saints do have options of, like, potentially looking for other players that maybe from the UFL, something to where you can quickly recruit somebody.
Now, that's a good point, Joel. Looking at the UFL, a couple of players we see shining in the preseason. I think we did bring in a UFL receiver.
Or was
Punka.
it a
Punka? His brother, the other. From the Los Angeles Rams. I'm sorry I butchered his name a little bit, but yeah, I mean, clearly there's some decent receivers. Joe, let's go around the league for a second, right? Speaking of Punka, we'll start there with that team, the Rams. Stetson Bennett, quarterback from Georgia, big timer, right? He was drafted to the Rams at a later round, obviously.
Right.
He threw 4 interceptions in his first preseason game.
Still got the W, though.
Not 1, not 2, 4. I'm not going. Yeah, it still beat the Cowboys. Now, ain't that something else? Now, speaking of the Cowboys in this very same matchup, you have to give it to Trey Lance. We didn't really get a chance to see him at San Francisco. He didn't really have a lot of tape from college. I think he went to one of the Dakotas, so he's similar to Trevor Penning. But now, I mean, he showed his dual threat against the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams, and then also remember, too, that Bennett is their third-string quarterback, so just like most of the teams that played in the preseason, this wasn't necessarily the top of the top. I mean, they're playing against like the second string and third string for the Cowboys because nobody wants to put their main players because they obviously the risk to injury. But it was honestly though, seeing Bennett being able to throw 4 interceptions but still get the W, and you saw that side throw pass that he made.
That was beautiful. That's how you look at Georgia.
Good Lord.
So the 4 interceptions, look, you never seen those type of. Peyton Manning threw double-digit interceptions his rookie year, so I'm not really diving too much into that. We know this kid knows how to win. They don't need him to perform right now because you still have Matthew Stafford playing at a high level. So, I mean, I think they're going to be okay. Just going up, so that score was 13-12. They beat the Cowboys. The Denver Broncos 34 to the Colts 30. Bo Nix was the second quarterback to go into the game. Yeah. And he did exceptionally well. I want to say Bo Nix, where's his numbers? I mean, he started on offense. He had hit Marvin Mims Jr. for a touchdown. I did see that. I want to say Anthony Richardson did exceptionally well. He was 2 for 4 for 25. You know, they didn't really get a lot of snaps. I'm gonna go to some of the game stats while we're letting my computer load up here. But I mean, these are 2 young guys. Anthony Richardson is somebody who we only seen 1 good year out of Florida, but in that 1 year in the SEC, we talked about that before, the value of the SEC play. But you know, here's a guy that now he's not injured. You're starting to see a little bit what he's able to do, which is important. I want to say he did go that first drive. Well, anyway, Bo Nix was 15 for 21 on 21 attempts, had 125 yards and 1 touchdown thrown. I thought that was pretty big time by him. Yeah, hitting Courtney Sutton twice with 35 yards.
Yeah, I mean, obviously him not being really like the starting quarterback right there because you do have other people that Denver, especially Sean Payton, brought over. But, I mean, it's a good showing. Like, it's somebody going in there for the first time. You're playing on a totally different level than what you've been playing for the last, 4 years that he was in college. And so going out there, being confident, making the plays that you need to play. Obviously, you don't want to, as a freshman quarterback that's going out there playing in that league, making plays like that is always a good thing because you're only going to get better.
Oh, no doubt. And at the same token, 1 second here. And at the same token, you do take a look at Denver's. You do take a look at Denver's passing game. You look at a player like Bo Nix, 15 for 21, but you do have some experience, young experience on that roster. I mean, Bo Nix is going to be a starter in the regular season, but anything happens. You still have Jared Stidham. You also still have Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson isn't your best option, but he has playing experience.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, even though because Zach Wilson does, and he doesn't obviously have the best of records, the best of showing, but Sean Payton brought him over for a reason. Zach Wilson, like he saw good things in Zach Wilson. Obviously, he sees a lot more potential with Bo Nix, but Zach Wilson could be that quarterback that could necessarily hold that position for the time being and be able to help train up Bo Nix. So, and show him, especially because Zach is only 25 years old. How old is Bo? He's
so Bo bounced around for a little bit. So I think Bo should be like 22, 23.
20, yeah. 3 years.
He has. Bo did some years at Auburn. He was dealing with all the COVID stuff too. So a lot of those guys were getting COVID years. So
absolutely.
That's a really good point.
There's not a big age gap, but having that experience where Zach Wilson can kind of like hold the mantle for a time being and then let Bo really establish himself. Because in all honesty, from just evaluating different things, it's very rare to have a quarterback that comes in as a freshman that can really just show off. I mean, look at Trevor Lawrence with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That dude had superstar written all over him. He had some of the best stats going into the NFL, and he was picked extremely high. But we are finally just starting to see him hit his stride and be able to surround him with that. So I think Bo, not necessarily being in the starting position would be the best for Denver, but hey, you never know.
Man, two names that popped up a lot in preseason. We couldn't wait to see these two players play. Has been Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels.
I was about to say, you forgot the guy.
I just want to give him a nice little pause in between. I don't want to just say Caleb Williams. Nah, we're going to give him his space. But no, the Jets do defeat the Commanders 20-17. Big play by Jaden Daniels, showing his deep ball ability, accurate throwing, and trusting his receivers to make the play. I mean, this kid is going to be a superstar in this league, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you saw what he did. He had a play, and he actually checked out of the play. And right at the line of scrimmage, just checked out of it because he noticed what the defense was doing and was able, even though that the defense did a good job of seeing the play and reading it for what it is, it's still, I mean, Jaden is just so fast. Like, he's going to outrun most defensive players and be able to make the edge of the touchdown.
No doubt. And then, of course, in the case of Caleb Williams, he lived up to most of the hype. I'm not going to lie. Now, we can't put a lot of a big investment into the preseason, right, because it is preseason. But with the weapons around him and his ability to at least show poise early on, we're looking at a superstar here.
The hype around Caleb Williams was so much that as long as he did not have negative yards, they would have said, Caleb Williams doing good, man. Like, look at that dude. Like, he is showing his talent. So it doesn't surprise me that, I mean, he did have some great drives, but he didn't necessarily throw a touchdown pass. He would just get close enough to where they kick some field goals. But, hey, you know what? Yeah, he did a good job. I'm not trying to hate on the dude, but I'm just trying to point out a fact that people love on him so much that he just had to not do bad at all. Like, if he just did normal, he'd be fine.
It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite Wright. We're here live at Small Slider, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. We got one more segment here in hour one, and y'all definitely stick around for hour two because we'll be joined by the Higgins Hurricanes. That's right, their football team is going to come join us. They're one of the definitions of Marrero. You know what I'm talking about? Speaking of Higgins, that's one of Higgins' very own, baby boy the Prince. It's Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN New Orleans.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite, and that's right, we represent here at Small Sliders. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here chilling, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to go over my segments, and man, I see all these boys from Higgins roll up on me like that. I'm like, hold on. I went to Jeff. I ain't used to no Higgins cats.
I know. They got a full team over here.
Yeah, they had me go up until, you know what I'm saying, to go back 20 years right quick. I thought but no, we're excited to have the Higgins Hurricanes, Marrero's very own, in the building. They're going to join us in hour 2. Try to get them boys some sliders here. They're right out of practice over here at Inside the Trenches. Well, as we talked about in our previous segment, if y'all didn't tune in, we were talking about how exceptionally well this first preseason week was. I mean, I think it was just a little tease for the Hall of Fame game, but we got a chance to see Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels play this weekend, Bo Nix. You know, all of those guys look exceptionally well. We had some young guys for the Saints step up. We wanted to see Kool-Aid McKinstry in cover 1, and he looked exceptionally well. And, you know, the biggest highlight for most Saints fans was probably seeing Spencer Rattler perform well.
Oh, yeah, that was something that we didn't even really get to talk about.
We really did.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Spencer as we're looking at a couple of, you know, after this, we'll check out what Bleach Report having to say about a few rookies that could earn starting jobs this year.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the case for Spencer. Like, a few things, in my opinion, would have to happen. Well, a few things will have to happen, right? We do know that Jake Hanger and Spencer Rattler are battling it out for that number 2 spot.
Correct.
I do see a situation probably we might see in Atlanta where if it makes sense to put Spencer on the field some type of way, make it happen. I don't know, but again, you still have, in my opinion, a great opportunity because one thing you have is, I don't care what people say about Derek Carr, and we have our resident quarterback coach here in the building, Coach Sean. Can't wait to get him on here in a few segments. But he's still been in the league double-digit years. You know, so, I mean, despite how we may feel about his performance, him being in Spencer Rattler's ear and then Jake Hanger is going to continue to help those guys develop professionally.
I mean, just think about what Spencer Rattler did during like his like being able to play and what he did. And let's not forget about Cenk Haner. Like, I know we didn't talk about him and his, or well, we did talk about it, but it was kind of like a quick kind of talk. You may mention about him and A.T. Perry, like really just hitting it off. But Spencer just really showing his ability to adapt to whatever he's going to go to. And once again, just proving the fact of him as any kind of rookie quarterback, somebody like him who has the talent, who has the ability to be a starting quarterback and be that dynasty player, just needs to be sitting in the back, learning from the pros, learning from the veterans, and then seeing what he needs to do to be better.
I'm going to go to the NFC East here for a second. A guy I thought did exceptionally well in the pre-draft, right? The Senior Bowl, the team workouts, and that's Toledo's Quinyon Mitchell, which Philly went on and drafted him. They saying that, according to Bleach Reporter, he's somebody that can actually come in here and start at that cornerback position. So he got his superstardom, I'm going to say, he got his bells and whistles from the Senior Bowl. Hey, who the best receiver out here? Oh, it's you? Come on, let's go. And he just kind of did that with everybody. Like, say, for instance, I know I'm like 300 pounds, but I think I could take any of these receivers over here. Like, come on, what's happening? Let's line up. Let's go.
There you go.
So
line
that's the confidence he went to the senior. I'm going to take my ankles too, Coach. Hello. Yeah. But that's the confidence he had at the Senior Bowl. So I can see him being a starter for Philly this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he remember, that was a position that Philly really needed to fill anyway. So that was something that was one of the reasons why Philly ended up drafting him for that spot, is because that was somewhere that he was severely lacking. But he showed it up in the preseason game, so he did really well. He didn't allow like any big plays and everything. Made some good tackles, so we had a good showing. I mean, what? By the way, talking about Arizona, since we played them, what was your thoughts on Harrison Jr. and how do you think he did?
From Arizona?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we didn't get to see a lot of him, but, I mean, for the most part, I thought he was straight. He got open. He kind of had, like, one of those Malik Neighbor nights. Like, Malik Neighbor was open a lot, but he just had 0 targets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think when you have that combination with him and Kyler Murray and him being a speedster and just being developed as a skilled receiver, I mean, he's going to be – I mean, again, I thought he was – top 2. I think Malik
So
Neighbor's
what you're saying is that
too.
we didn't necessarily get to see, because they didn't get targeted too much, we didn't necessarily get to see what they were capable of.
Well, this is what I'm gonna definitely do, because just bouncing around a couple of these games, I had an opportunity to see a few of them, and even some of the highlights with some of these players this weekend. And in the case of Marvin Harrison Jr., you're looking at he didn't get any playing time in the deal, but looking forward to the season, I do think he's somebody that's going to require cover 2 action, maybe a little sky leaning more towards his way, just because I think that's what he brings to the table. Now, in the case of the Seattle Seahawks first-round draft pick, I mean, let's take it inside the trenches here second. Lastly here, Brian Murphy II, he's labeled as an edge. They run that 3-4 defense. But he comes from a Bo Davis's defense, LSU's new coach. So, of course, he knows how to make things he could play, again, another Texas top Power 5 team, adjust to NFL, play quickly. You're going against top competition. But in the case of Byron Murphy II, you have a guy that wins with leverage. He's not super tall, plays with good extension, so on and so forth, too. You also have a player that understands and plays with good technique, and just utilizes his skill and can be an effect for you both in the passing game and run stop.
Oh yeah, I mean, he definitely showing some that their pick that they made for that, because he was a really top draft pick at being a defensive player.
Yeah, yes,
I mean, dude, you necessarily don't see a defensive player getting picked that soon.
This year they were rolling, bro.
Yeah,
you didn't catch a defensive player coming off the board till like 16.
I know
that was crazy this year, the draft.
But Brian Murphy is showing people that, hey, if there is a defensive player out there that has the top talent, don't be afraid to pick him, because now he's showing people that, hey, I have the ability. Yes, this is the NFL. This is the top players, but I can show up and I can adjust to that, and I can still make the plays that you saw in college in the NFL.
Yeah, we got time to talk about a couple more guys. I'm gonna stick to the offensive line and Graham Barton. He's somebody that when we were going through this and through this little draft process, pre-draft, he's somebody I thought would go pretty decently on the board, but he ended up in Tampa.
Right.
You have Worse over there. They gave him backed up a Brinks truck to his house with some more money, But the confidence that Baker Mayfield has, you want to add that talent. I think this young guy could step in and make some noise here for Tampa this year, especially in an area where they can always use some skilled young guys on the offensive line.
He didn't necessarily. I didn't. I'm trying to remember when I watched the Tampa Bay game. He didn't necessarily play too much, huh?
Nah, not really. I think so. You had this weekend just an overview. You had guys like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels that they wanted to see some snaps. I want to say Patrick Mahomes might have just went the first drive.
Right.
And,
like Derek Carr. Derek Carr only played like a couple of plays.
And some people feel like he should have kind of maybe went that whole first quarter. And it's not so much to see if he could, for the coaches, it's more about the new coach and the new player and the new system. Now, you're going to see that, but with the preseason not being as long as it used to, game 2 they'll usually play a little bit, and then game 3 you'll probably get another feel for your starters, and then in game 4, you go to your last few guys, you got to kind of mind who you're going to cut. You know what I'm saying? So give them some time to get a little more tape.
But here's the thing. I'm definitely making this prediction that we're probably not going to see the Kubiak system at all during the preseason game. So everybody, when you're watching these Saints players and how they're playing and how they're doing, take it with a grain of salt, because you're not going to actually see what the offense is going to look like during the regular season, because they're keeping all of their cards close. They want it to be like, bam, this is what the new offense looks like. Because once people start seeing the preseason, then they're going to make adjustments to it.
Little sprinkles, huh? Little sprinkles. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. Y'all don't go anywhere. We got hour 2 right around the block, baby. We got the Higgins Hurricanes in the building, man. We cruising down the street. What we yelling? Marrero. We've been saying it a couple of times. Some Marrero boys in here for real, so we're going to have them in hour 2. Let's go to college football. Let's look at the AP Top 25. Let's look at, LSU, Tulane. It's Inside the Trenches.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Big Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Marrero, and order your food right now. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and we West Bank representing right now. You know what I'm saying? I got my Higgins Hurricanes in the building. See Skylar, you can't say I ain't never represent for Higgins. You know what I'm saying? Fred, Tarek, you're a Hurricane too. See what I'm saying? Joe, we represent, all them Higgins boys. Phil. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Over that body by Phil. Higgins here, baby. West Bank. And y'all can check out more from Higgins this year. We're going to follow them around the season, try to catch up with them. So this won't be their last time on the show. Baby. I know where most of these guys want to go. Joe.
Where do they want to go?
They like that NCAA. How 2 Chainz said? NCAA. You got the NIL money. They got deals going. That's the goal for a high school kid, right?
Yeah.
To get them NIL deals. Well, it's only right that we talk about the NIL recipients, and that is college football. That's right. The AP polls has dropped. 24/7 Sports, we have it. Oh, and my internet is definitely doing the duck wing duck. But look, before we jump into the other teams, and I get my internet here back working, shouts out to my Wi-Fi. Let's talk about LSU being ranked 13.
Yeah. What is that?
It's what I like to call a midi, right? Right in that
they try to make
into
us
the
angry.
middle of the pack.
That's what they trying to do.
And I get it. It's a preseason ranking, so you can only go off of last year. That's just what it is. That's all good. But my whole thing, Joel, with this is it's a sweet spot. It's not 10, but it's not 15, right?
Right.
And you look at this LSU team. You start weighing the pros and the cons. You start to see where this team could be a little undervalued. We've seen what Gary Nussmeier was able to do in the SEC championship 2 years ago when we lost to Georgia. He put up, a 300 burger on them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've seen him do well in his past bowl game. Jaden opted out, right? So we've seen that happen as well. So as far as that perspective goes, you start to look at key areas, Harold Perkins, Will Campbell. Joe, this team has superstars, and I think they're going to see that we have a solid 22 guys.
I think so. I think that LSU especially seeing that ranking of 13, I think that they are basically, I would say, it's tough. It's tough to say because our offensive lineman, our offense looks really stacked this year, especially with Garrett Nussmeier. I feel very confident in him, especially watching him during the summer game. Like, he was just hitting all the right strides. I mean, every time we saw the offense score, it was always a first-string offense team right there. Facts. And so I think that they are extremely undervalued. Dude, I think that they should definitely be in the top 10, especially with Brian Kelly still being there, him really developing the program, and then making the changes and the pickups that they needed.
Well, I think a big argument more than anything else is Coach Kelly has had back-to-back 10-game win seasons. Went to the SEC championship his first year. You do lose to the number 1 Georgia. You beat Alabama your first year with Nick Saban, the Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the next year you come back and have the number 1 offense in college football. By the way, what the most prolific quarterback in college football last year. And what says that? I don't know. He won the Heisman by this much. For our viewers on YouTube, for our folks listening, just know I did that old over-exaggerated from here to here, right? So that screams 10, but he's not there anymore, and we understand that. But let's do this, Joe. Let's look at the teams that are in front of LSU. We'll run through them real quick. And, of course, you guys feel free to chime in. Y'all can call us.
Yep, call us
800-998-1003. Hit that hotline, bling, baby, and we will definitely love to hear from you guys and talk as well. So Georgia's at 1, first place, 46 votes. You have Ohio State, which is a really good team. That looks good. Ryan Day's team has a lot of superstars on it. You have transfers on an offense from K-State quarterback Will Howard. You know, he was originally at LSU, and then Junkins, who was at Ole Miss. So those are just a few. 3, you have the Oregon Ducks. They all had 1 vote for 1. Texas 4. I just feel like they just throw Texas out there. Alabama 5. No way, Jose. 6 is Ole Miss. They should be higher on that list, right? That's, you know, I'm just keeping it $1. Notre Dame 7. I get it. Penn State. Michigan at 9.
Yeah.
Florida State at 10. I would argue to move them up a little bit. I would definitely put them in front of Penn State, not Michigan. You know, Michigan doesn't have Coach Harbaugh anymore. They're regrouping, so I understand that. 11, Mizzou. That's an insult. 12, Utah. That's low-key an insult. And look, I do understand Cameron Rising and you know, headlining this team as the leader at quarterback, and you know, you have Kyle Wilmington, who should be able to do his stuff, but whatever. LSU 13. So, Joe, real quick, out of those teams I named, would you say like 5 of them we could have been in front of?
Yeah. I definitely think Notre Dame.
That's one. Keep going.
Yeah. I could definitely say Utah, definitely them, and then Missouri.
Missouri. That's 3.
And now, obviously, with Harden gone, I can see them being in front of Michigan. I really do.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I can definitely see, and this team is way up here, Alabama. I just can't put LSU in front of Ole Miss. And that's fine. And then you have your top 4 teams. I would say your top 3, because they just throw Texas in there. And I get it. You have Quinn Ewers coming back as your starting quarterback. You do have Coach Steve Scalise, who does an excellent job at coaching, and you know, they shut Alabama down at the beginning. So I understand Texas, but I mean, the only solid teams I see like that in the top 5, I would say Georgia. I would definitely for sure say Ohio State, Oregon. I just couldn't say it. Ole Miss. You know, yeah, and then everything else is debatable, but it's cool. Look, we'll just stay. Oh, see, now never mind. I got my old D lineman over there, Grayson, talking about some roll tide. Yeah, we're gonna roll the tide right up out of it. It was cool there we go. I see. Look, Higgins over there representing LSU. I understood roll tide when Saban was there. We're not gonna say Coach Keeling gonna come down here and just do what he did with Michael Penix Jr. in the SEC just right away like that. I'm not even letting Oklahoma and Texas come in here like that. So I'm not going to let an outsider, even though he's at Alabama. Listen, Alabama going to go back to what it was my first few years. We're going to leave that out. Well, we need to beat Alabama pretty bad, Joe. Speaking of Tigers, shouts out to LSU. I'm excited about a few things. One for sure, the offensive line being the number one unit in the country. The game is won and lost inside the trenches, so shouts out to Coach Powell and the crew bringing a few O-linemen over here. Look like I see some O-line coaches and stuff. That can we represent? It's the heart and soul of the team on the line. You know what I'm saying? These guys know that the skilled guys won't be able to catch the ball if we're not blocking, Joel.
Yeah.
I
mean, you got flag football then.
Most of these interceptions come from pressures. Quarterback just trying to throw up a wish. It's the guys up front, and LSU having the number one offensive line. To me, the best college football player, the best player in college football, is Harold Perkins. I do believe that the way that he's going to be used this year is going to be more explosive. I'm not worried about Ole Miss as much as I was last year because I know he's following that quarterback everywhere, Joel.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it's just you can't necessarily take these – remember, everybody, you can't take these things seriously. This is just people kind of voting based off of what they saw last year. We don't necessarily know what's going to end up happening, especially with all the different NIL trades and the transfer portals and necessarily what some of the colleges may pick up teams. And then we also have injuries that may happen too. That's another thing that also affects us. So just take this stuff with a grain of salt, man. Just like for me – I'm going to let the players go out there and show what these top rankings. I'm just going to laugh at this ranking choice whenever whenever LSU shows up and starts beating some people.
And I do believe that when you look at this entire story, like how this coaching staff has been around this team now for a few years. This is the third year you've had New Orleans' very own Cartaz Hankton. His little brother, Carday Hankton's on the staff. So now you have that family bond. We still have Coach Frank Wilson, who's assistant head coach, running backs coach, and, making sure that the class of 25, 26, 27, take over like Cash Money took over for the 99 and the 2000, right? So you have those different elements on the team, and I trust the quarterback, right? I do understand that we hadn't seen him in the full, like with the full responsibility. We've had
Right.
Jaden Daniels and we're trying to figure things out before he got here. But the point I'm making is here's a quarterback that has been patient. You have a team player, and, of course, his team is ready to rally behind him. And then you look at this LSU's receiving core. You have Kyrie Lacey. You have targets, tight end Mason Taylor. You have enough. West Bank's very own. We're talking about a guy from one of these schools here, John Eric, not Higgins, John Eric, and Xavier Thomas. So, you have speedsters and you have for sure hands in the receiving core.
Yeah. I mean, for us, like when it comes down to LSU's and their ranking, I think that just going to beat a dead horse again. It's going to be something to where people are going to be surprised about where we're standing up. Obviously, we have the teams like Ole Miss, Oregon, I think Texas is going to do really well. The future of Texas is looking very bright, but those teams are always like a shoe-in is what we call it. So, but let's just see what LSU does this year, and then we can look back in these rankings.
No doubt, baby. West inside the trenches. I'm your host, Marlon, Big Faith Favorite, right? We're over here at Small Slider, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. And look, if you need a nice used vehicle, remember y'all can hit my boy Alberto up over there at 1512 North Causeway Boulevard, right over there in Metairie. Let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches and use that $500 of that Marlon money. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Talk a little two-lane green wave right here on Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
I'm Wes Ramsey.
West is my nephew.
Which makes
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty. Yeah, and we back. Just like that, baby. Welcome to Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and we represent over here at Small Slider, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. I got my man Joe Picolo over here, my co-host. Joel, I really do like to inform our listeners, especially locally here, like it's folks that's into real estate, it's folks that are looking to get into it, maybe buy, whether they want to sell, whether they want to rent, whether they want, whatever the case may be. I know you could take care of it, but I was on your Instagram earlier and you were talking something about maybe some updates with insurance here in the state.
Oh, yeah. So we just got an announcement from Sage Sure. It's one of the more cheaper versions of the insurance that's currently out right now. And so Sage Sure is now accepting 10-year to 15-year roofs now, which is crazy because just talking like literally 2 years ago, let's not even go that far back. Let's go a year back. That is unheard of. If you did not have a post-Ida roof, then your insurance was going to be double, if not triple. But now getting that option of like, let's just say, because typical roof right now, at the minimum, is going to cost you $6,000 to change that, depending upon the size of your house. So a lot of people don't have that $6,000. So being able to get a cheaper insurance rate while saving up to change that roof is a huge help.
And listen, y'all, if y'all want to get more information, y'all can hit Joel up. Joel at Godwyn Realty. We'll have his information below this show for New Orleans Talk Network's YouTube. Y'all can go to New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube. We have Joel's information on it. That was Joel commercial y'all heard on the break. And more resourceful information like that as we get it, we would love to share it with you guys. We talked about LSU. We bounced around to all the top 25 teams across the country. But we didn't talk about our very own right here in the 504, and that's the Tulane Green Wave. So much to be excited about with this team. The first person I want to talk about, most of the time we'll start head coach, quarterback. but it's inside the trenches. And I want to give a big shout out to Patrick Jenkins. He's a local kid right here, went to John Eric High School, has been doing an excellent job at Tulane the last few years. Along with a host of other awards, he's just been on the watch list for the Bednick Award, a prestigious college award that's been for the Defensive Player of the Year since 1994, named in honor of Chuck Concrete Bednick, who was an All-American player for the University of Pennsylvania and later multiple-year All-Pro linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is a member of both the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very prestigious award. Last year, and just more about the award, the full list consists of 90 of the best defensive players in the country. Jenkins is one of 4 in the American Conference, so shouts out to him. He definitely earned it, a sack machine, and he's going to keep on doing his thing for the Green Wave, Joe.
Absolutely. I mean, it is truly an honor to be recognized, especially with an award like that that's been around for so long. I mean, dude, you're being recognized for being one of the best defensive players, especially in a college atmosphere where you have so many players to choose from. So great shout out to him in Tulane. And it's honestly a good thing too, is that Louisiana has only been known for LSU, and trust me, I'm not trying to like hate on LSU or anything, but Tulane has always been there in the shadow, and now the wave is starting to hit.
Yeah, it's definitely the wave. The green wave is definitely on the way. They got the wave. I'm with that, and I'm proud of what we were able to accomplish here locally in New Orleans. I mean, that stadium is beautiful. You have for the folks that just are diehard New Orleans fans. Shouts out to my boy Wesley. He's a ref here locally in the city. It comes to a lot of our remotes. He's a real Tulane fan. Like, he got big Tulane Green Wave. So for guys like him, they beat USC 2 years ago with Caleb Williams, his Heisman year. So it's so much. And shouts out to a couple of the other players. I know in the off season I've trained Pat. It's just with him at the lineman's clinic, along with Adonis Freelow, Angelo Anderson, who went to John Curtis. I'm sorry, his dad is a West Jeff legend. Defensive lineman, and my boy, we've been training with Concord for a while, Harold Lawson, who's a linebacker there. So it's so much to be excited about this Tulane football team, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're looking at, just like LSU, Tulane's offensive line is all coming back, the same starters as last time. But not only that, but, dude, Tulane is having some legit defensive players that are also coming back this year. So think about what Tulane did last year when it came to the record. They were 11-3, and they were 8-0 in their American Athletic Conference. So, dude, those are the kinds of stuff. And when you're putting up those numbers, I mean, obviously they lost their starting quarterback, but now that Tulane is getting that recognition, potentially recruiting a top quarterback like him is still a possibility for the future. And, I mean, looking at their depth chart, so
yeah, there's a couple of players. I know you said they had a few starters coming back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ty Thompson. Ty Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
So he's somebody. He's a junior. I know he's kind of like being looked at right now because of like potential injury, but he's somebody that is obviously picking up the mantle that people are going to be looking at and seeing what he's going to be bringing to the table.
Well, he's a dual threat quarterback. He's athletic. He has a pretty decent arm, and coach had to hit that transfer portal for him, and that's just something I'm glad Tulane is able to be active in the transfer portal. You look at center Vincent Murphy. He's a grad in the transfer portal. You mentioned Ty Thompson. He's that one of the key players to watch on this team. Local guy Shaz Preston, who's a sophomore, redshirt sophomore transfer guy in the transfer portal. So what I like what Tulane has been doing, they've been doing a good job at working that portal, bringing in key players that want to come play for Tulane. You come down to New Orleans, look how Higgins players out here. They're excited, man. The city just has those vibes. But, Joe, as you mentioned off air, this staff has changed. John Summerall, I've been knowing Coach John for a while. through Concord Sports. Coach John has not only spent time at Tulane. This is his second stint at Tulane, but coached at Ole Miss, was the head coach at Troy, did an exceptional job. And just to me, Joel, a top staff. You know, when you start looking at guys like locally here, like Brock Hayes, he's the running back coach. He's a guy from this area. You got Carter Sheridan, who was wide receiver coach with the Saints, won a Super Bowl with us with the Saints. Big-time guy, big-time analyst. So I think when you take a look at what Coach Summerall was able to bring in, Coach Greg McMahon, national champion and Super Bowl champion coach, LSU, the Saints. I mean, you bring in an award-winning staff.
I mean, let's look at their first couple of games. I mean, they're playing Southeastern. That should be a W right there. Then you got Kansas State Wildcats, and then it looks like their toughest game is going to be the Oklahoma. Is right there. Then you have the Raging Cajuns. You got USF. That's going to be a tougher game. And UAB Blazers is also going to be a little bit tougher game. So, I mean, the first couple of games, it looks like, besides the Oklahoma Sooners, I mean, this schedule is looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're playing Oklahoma. I like the fact that we're playing Kansas State because this is good for those players. And, I mean, this is stuff that is honestly looked at in the transfer portal, right? It's one of those situations where what players we can bring in that can really take this team to the next level. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't want to play Tulane the last 2 years as a LSU player, right? When we was developing, right, getting our D-line to get up. I didn't want, boy, Tulane, honestly, they have coach. I mean, if they had their quarterback Pratt in that game against Ole Miss, I think they beat Ole Miss. I'm just being real. So I just look at this Tulane team. They have a really good, one of the leading rushers in the conference, and Hughes, two other receivers, and Alex Bowman, and then your Keith Brown. So you have a team, in my opinion, has super athletes. I mean, you have a defensive lineman up for a national award. That's a lot. I mean, I know what that was for us with Glenn getting all those awards.
Right.
So that's one thing, right? And then two, Joel, you have a coach that knows about the local flavor, is going to continue to recruit well, and I think Tulane is going to continue to win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you get the ball rolling and you start really being successful and people start looking at you, you're not only being able to bring top athlete talent, but also that draws in more students, which more students actually increases the school's revenue. And as the school's revenue starts to increase, then all of a sudden you can recruit that top talent, like the coaching staff, maybe improving the systems that are in there, the facilities as well, that the top talent are looking for, and especially what draws a lot of those prime athletes to go to your school.
Yeah, man, it's, to me, and again, those primetime games, Oklahoma, K-State, even opening up, this isn't a big-time game, but it's an in-state game against Southeastern, you know, playing in that against a team that's local. So I'm appreciative of what Tulane is doing. Look, we turning into what Florida used to be, right? When they had the Gators, FIU, Florida State, Miami. Like, it was easy, Florida Atlantic. It was easy to get guys to go to top recruits. You had the beautiful weather, right? But now Louisiana is turning that. The culture here in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, the champion city as well. UL being top 25. Louisiana Tech sometime hopping in the top 25 in FBS programs. So Tulane's right in that mix. Listen, y'all don't go anywhere. It's the hype of the show, man. We got the Higgins football team in the building, having themselves a nice time over there, tearing them sliders up, man. I can't wait till we get off. You know it's going to be my time to slide on through. So y'all make sure y'all do that too. Y'all come on over if y'all want to ask the Higgins football team some questions. We'll be joined by offensive coordinator, Coach Sean Burris. He's going to talk about this Higgins football team. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN New Orleans.
Golden Motors has the vehicles
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's that's right, baby. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Joining me is my co-host, Joe Picolo. That's right. And, man, we blessed and fortunate this summer, man, to have a couple of the high schools come by, and we have another special high school in the building, West Bank's very own. Y'all hear us say Marrero a lot on the show. Well, this is a historical team. The Higgins Hurricanes head coach, Coach Emmanuel Powell, along with Coach Sean Burris, offensive coordinator, joining us. Fellas, thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Most definitely.
Appreciate it.
And so, Coach, I guess we'll start with you, Coach Powell. When you look at the tradition of Higgins, you think of guys like Coach Burris, you think about guys like Skylar Green, Phil Green. I'm looking at some of the talented young men at this table just here with us. It seems like you have a young team of guys that have the potential to be superstars off that West Bank.
Most definitely. We feel like we're headed in the right direction. We have some excellent athletes, student athletes, I should say. But also, at the end of the day, it's all about just the community and everybody getting involved in supporting us.
So, Coach, man, new gig, brother. You spent a little time at Helen Cox. I remember back early in my Cox days, we used to do the games with Landry Walker. I saw Coach T over here a little earlier. Man, how does it feel to be back not only coaching on the West Bank, it was where you spent most of your time coaching, but just being with a team to help develop, right? You know, this Higgins team, this area has tons of talent. And, Coach Sean, I'll come to you next to talk about the talent in the area. But, Coach, when you look at this team right here, let's be honest, it's a project. When you took on this job in the spring, you know it was a lot of rebuilding that had to happen to this team. But I like how they roll up, man. They pull up on me like the bird, man, a little earlier, you heard me? All uniform, nice. Everybody's had their Higgins shirts on representing. Man, how has the transition been for you here in the last couple of months getting this team together for the season?
Well, the transition has been great so far. We've been supported by the community, but also by the administration at L.W. Higgins. But most of all, I want to just say it's just a blessing to be back in coaching, being able to give back to the community, being able to help and support these young men to become men. And at the end of the day, in a few years, we're going to be talking about something super, super special that's happening in Marrero.
That's right. So, coaches, for y'all, your first game is Riverdale. So, what's necessarily the things that y'all are focusing on the most when it comes to playing against them?
We're still just working on the basics of the fundamentals of football at this particular time. And so when we play Riverdale in the Jamboree, at the end of the day, it's about just progressing forward and continue to do the right things, but also stay healthy for the first game of the year.
If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, you're listening to Coach Powell, head coach of the Higgins Hurricane, and we're also joined by offensive coordinator Coach Sean Burris. Coach, I'll come to you next. In your own right, you're a legend in this area, coming up and the Westminster area, keep on going down to Kennedy Heights, that whole area, the Marrero neighborhoods, West Wego neighborhoods. You've seen a lot of talent come in and out here. How does it feel to be an offensive coordinator and have opportunity here at Higgins to develop some of these young players?
Well, it's always a great deal. I mean, you've seen me around the West Bank training kids. We've done it some of that same work together. So now I have the opportunity to do it on a larger scale. Working with these kids, a couple of them I have. A couple of these kids are from Kennedy Heights Playground, which I, coached for a very long time. So I have an opportunity to reunite with those guys, and it's exciting to see from where they were and where they're going. So we also had the opportunity to like he said, to make some of these kids become productive and maybe hit some of their goals and strides and some of the things they want to do for the future. And I'm always excited to be a part of that growth and development, especially for young men.
So, Coach, what is one of those things that you do to help with their growth and development? Like,
one of the things that by me coaching quarterbacks and coming up through Eddie Robinson at Grambling State University, we have to learn how we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves. At some point, if you're going to be a quarterback, you're going to be a leader of men. You're going to be a leader of men on a large scale. And the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you interview in front of the mic, the way people see you around the community and see you in the classroom or even at church. So I'm excited about taking some of these young guys, molding them, and making them leaders of their community at some point.
And what about you, Coach? Same question.
Just to piggyback.
It's flies.
It's really about the character, building true young men to become productive citizens outside of just football, in the community, in the church, at their house, just being great leaders as men.
Now, Coach, going back to you. So this is a rebuild season for you, and this is actually both of y'all. I'm going to ask this question. So as a coach, when you're going into a rebuild, what is the first, if you have a checklist of like what to check off when doing a rebuild, what's the first thing that you look at when starting a rebuild?
Well, the first thing we have to do is establish a work ethic and expectations, the things that us as a coaching staff have try to instill in young people. The way stuff was done in the past can't be done. It didn't work, and it's not a knock on anybody, but we have a certain way of doing things. That's the reason I came out to work with Coach Powell, because I worked with him in the past when he built programs in the past. So I will always be on his side, because the way he does things is the way I do things, the things that we expect from kids. Be on time, dress appropriately, sit in the front of the class. So all of those little things create larger things so they can be productive young men that will one day have families, have wives, have family, and somebody that they can look up to.
Yeah. And what about you, Coach?
I think the biggest thing that when I come in, I try to change the culture of the program. And those things that Coach Sean just described are all part of the culture, what we try to do when we first come in, because whatever was there before, we like to try to change it up a little bit, push it forward, and that's really what we're talking about, is just the culture of the Senate.
I like that.
I want to talk to our viewers that's watching us on YouTube. We're not smoking the pigeon coop over here. They legit got flies. Shouts out to Small Sliders. The second they opened the pans over there, the flies was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, definitely. Man, I love listening to you guys right now because one key word y'all mentioned was expectations. You had to set the expectations and the goals as a coaching staff first for these kids. And a lot of times, just a little bit of discipline goes a long way.
Yes.
Just thinking back, and shouts out to Coach Aaron over there. We were talking a few days ago about when we first got to West Jeff. When we first got there, it was a different vibe. It was adjustment not only from the coaching staff, but the players too. And I look at this situation here, of course, for our listeners, if y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're blessed. We got two of the Higgins coaches here. Our offensive coordinator, Coach Sean Burris, played quarterback at Grambling under the legendary Eddie Robinson. I took my son to visit the Grambling, showing them all Coach Sean, the pictures and teams and stuff. Great honor, and of course, Coach Emmanuel Powell. I mean, how Snooze said, man, I came in the game rocking with you. You did. Just thinking back to our time, my early on days with Cox 4 game of the week, but. You know, I look at the way that not only it's important to look at your situation from a realistic standpoint. These guys can come out here and win district, right? But at the same time, y'all could have an even schedule. I know when you first got to Helen Cox, I think y'all were like 0-7, or I think it was a short year. But then I think a year was 6-6.
Yes.
So you know, you've turned around programs before, Coach Powell.
Yes, I have, and I couldn't do it without the support of some of my friends like Evan Bronson and Bruce Hemfield. I got to give a shout out to them. You know, they're 100% with me all the time, whether it's good or bad. So I love them for that. But also by God, you know, just lead by the faith of God. That's it.
Man, that's such a blessing. If y'all are just hopping in, y'all calling, tuning in to our show Inside the Trenches, we're joined by the Higgins Hurricane football team. The boys came out here deep, got their uniforms on. So y'all are back in school, right, Coach? Did they start classes this week?
Actually, tomorrow is the official first day, full day of school with everybody being there. They was on a staggered start, but tomorrow, officially, they are back in school.
So we hooked y'all up with Small Slide. Y'all could take y'all shower, brush y'all teeth, go to bed. Y'all had dinner already. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. There you go. Tuck them in.
They're good to roll. Coach, football season is here. I know y'all excited. Talk to us about y'all's jamboree coming up here. I think there's is it the West Bank? What's the one we used to play at? Who y'all open up with y'all jamboree? I guess y'all had a schedule out.
We open up against
Riverdale.
Riverdale, which is our jamboree.
So that is a jamboree game. I thought that was game one.
Okay.
No.
We play that on the 30th of August. But we also have a scrimmage that's coming up next week, the fall scrimmage versus Livingston High School.
Okay.
So we got some work to do, and we're just looking forward to being able to, to get after.
I guess a more appropriate question: who y'all have week one or week, the
South Platte.
South Platte, and y'all travel to South Platte.
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's gonna be cool. Y'all ready to go down to South Platte, huh, guys? Look at this. Yeah, let's get it. That's indeed, Coach. Well, man, I'm excited for the season for y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming on the show. We're going to have y'all players come on the next segment. Coach, before I let y'all go, for our listeners, it may be some Higgins alumni listening right now. It may be some folks that just want to be some new fans of y'all. Any message to the listeners or anything we can expect for this season?
Yeah, you're going to expect some really good football. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to play fast. We're going to fly to the ball. We're going to pass block, run block. It's gonna be the real deal. So it's going to be something that everybody. Again, I expect us to have a larger crowd.
Yeah.
Because when you win, people going to come. So we have that high expectations for these kids. They've been working super hard in the weight room. When we could get on the field, it's been super hot. They work hard in watching film on the chalkboard. All of those things have been implemented. So we have very high expectations for this team. We got some young guys and we got some veteran guys that's going to carry us. That's going to lead us.
Well, we got the Higgins Hurricane football team joining us later, baby. We cruising down the street, and Marrero is inside the trenches.
Thank you so much.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Are you tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here. Come on, welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite, and as promised, we got just about the whole Higgins football team here, man. So what we gonna do for our listeners, I know y'all excited, looking forward to hearing from the players, you know, the stars that we were just talking about on the field. So we're gonna work our way around. Give me y'all's names and positions.
Hey, this Stephen Petty, number 7, linebacker.
All right.
There we go.
Christian Bradley, 15, quarterback.
Okay.
Elijah Chapman, DB.
Trevor James, quarterback.
Jacoby Hollins, wide receiver.
Kai Scott, linebacker.
Javon Williams, right guard. That's on Lester, defensive tackle.
DT.
DeMarcus Hester, D tackle.
Excuse my temptation, Mike. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go.
Isaiah Utley, number 50, center.
There you go.
I felt like he was an offensive lineman.
I knew it was one of the two. So we're going to start with my man Petty up first.
LB.
Talk to me, man. How has training camp been going, man? I know y'all just about to start school tomorrow, but y'all have been doing some practices. How that's been?
Practice been amazing, man. Every day we getting better. Every day another day to get better. Everybody out to look at it like we gonna come out here, bust our butt, and get better every single day.
I like it, boy. He one of the leaders right there. You could tell, Coach.
I know. He hungry. So
to piggyback off what he said, it's just like it's fun. Like everybody got to put in all the work, because once you put in all that work gonna show when you get on the field on Fridays or Thursdays.
I like that, man. Let's keep this going. I like to get the vibe from y'all of how, because it's a different. How many of y'all are upperclassmen, like juniors and seniors? So this is a transition for y'all. You know, obviously I was under Coach Harris. Coach Powell brings a different deal to the table. Offensively, we got Coach Sean. So I guess just with that being said, talk a little bit more about training camp.
Well, how things been going lately, like coming from last year, like I feel like we've been putting in a lot of work for fall camp. Matter of fact, the whole summer, like for the transition, is like we really been doing good, and I feel like if we keep going forward, we should be good during the season. Every Friday, every Thursday.
That's a bet.
Well, we've been doing good for real. There's still stuff that we need to work on every day.
Okay.
We gotta work hard, practice, grind, don't stop, off the field, on the field, in class, out class. We just as a team, we gotta bond together, work harder, and keep striding so we could win district and hopefully win state.
Now, give me your name again. I'm sorry.
Jacoby Hollins.
Jacoby, right. I want to talk to you about this, Jacoby. When you think about how things was for you last year as a player versus this year, what are some things going into the season you thought you improved on, whether it's speed, strength?
I improved on like my stamina, because a lot of conditioning we was doing, working out in the gym. I feel like I got stronger, faster, route running better. It's like the coaches that we have, they good, they can teach you. They give us like, they right. Yeah, they
Hello.
Now my fellow linebacker right here, which by the way, kind of tell y'all, I know y'all don't really know about me, but I went to John Curtis. So I was starting linebacker and everything, got 3 state championship rings. So talking to my fellow linebacker, what's your goals for this year?
My goals to get stronger, make a lot of tackles and stuff. And work
Typical
harder,
linebacker, like that.
Yeah, get bigger and stuff. You know what I mean?
Like that. How about you? I want to hear from y'all in the back line. What's y'all's goals for this year?
Making a team proud, working, getting better. And
I like that, making the team proud. Like that's what it's all about. There's no I in team, right? Like Kobe said, but there's a me in them. But now we ain't gonna have that attitude. But it does take individual effort to make the team better. So it's just playing your role.
How about you, sir? What's your goals for
Shouts
this
out to
year?
Bean.
I'd say my goal for this year is to win district, and try to do my part the best I can, so we can all go all the way.
Now that's my fellow D tackle right there.
Yeah.
So that's an achievable goal, right? Y'all district has its challenges, but y'all, I would like to say Higgins is the sleeper team. Like y'all the team that, oh man, that's Higgins. And that's a good position to be in, because that should be fuel to your fire. So for you as a defensive lineman, what has that been for you in the offseason, preparing for the D-line? Has it been, man, let me get faster, work on my technique with my hands to get in the backfield quicker? Was it working on your run stopping? What has it been for you this offseason?
More about technique, my coaches break it down real easy for me, so, I'll be able to catch it on easier, and I'll be able to apply it to the game, so, I get to make that sack or tackle.
Big time, I like it. Let's keep it going with them linemen, baby.
Yeah.
Give me your name again, too, big timer.
It's DeMarcus.
Yeah. DeMarcus in the building.
My goals for this year, really is to really get better. My conditioning, it got real better since we start from the summer, and I think it's gonna get better through the season. So through that, is real. I won't go on with my seniors. Like, this is really mean to me. Is everybody, Eddie, my quarterback. I protect him all I could.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, before we get to my man here, if y'all just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we have the Higgins football team here. But what I hear a lot of coaches, and I think this is something we should be proud of, these guys put the team before themselves.
That's right.
I just heard, man, I got to protect my quarterback. We can win district. Like, these are all, man, this is good. I didn't really expect this type of energy. Not saying I was expecting anything different, but you could see the difference in these young men,
Yeah.
Joel.
It's very unified.
Very unified. I'm sorry, Senna. Talk to me.
So the goal for the year, is just to keep grinding. I mean, I've been dealing with injuries on the field and stuff, but the goal is just keep grinding and making everybody on the field proud.
Nice.
I know that's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah.
These boys are rolling. We got a few more minutes here, guys. I guess I want to, since football season is here, the whole show we've been talking about the Saints, the new rookies in the league. We've been bouncing around. Do y'all have like a favorite team or a favorite player at y'all position? Patty, we'll start with you first.
Patrick Willis.
Oh,
okay.
He just got he just got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Patrick Willis.
Why Patrick?
Man, that man a dog. I'm talking about a dog. You look at Patrick. Come on now. You watch his highlight
tape good.
You watch his highlight tape. You get bucked up. You ready? Patrick Willis a dog.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Look, I had an opportunity to play against him in the SEC. He was a monster for Ole Miss.
My favorite player still to this day is Cam Newton.
Okay.
Yeah, and Cam's pod is
Dude,
podcast
his
is
pod,
pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Dude, that dude is stylish. Like, even though it'd be like, but for him, it's always with a purpose. Like,
QB, give me your name again.
Christian.
I'm glad he said Cam because he brought a good point. Let me say something. Coach Sean right here. 2019, Joe Burrow was that dog. That year he had. But Cam 2010 at Auburn, he was something different. That's a good name.
Dude,
so dig a little bit into
different.
Cam, man. Why Cam?
Like, it's his play style, and he very confident. So he don't back down from no challenge.
Oh no.
He don't let the pressure affect him. Nothing. So when I first started playing quarterback, that's how I learned some of my game and what I wanted to put in my game from him that I learned. So I just really love his play style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a dual threat quarterback, what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I like it, Chris. All right, guys, we got a few more minutes. Drop y'all favorite players. We'll go around one time.
Well, my favorite player, he's not in the NFL. He's in college, actually.
Okay.
It's Caleb Downs. Like, the way I look at him, it's like he has his own kind of play, like, chill. So it's like he's real laid back when it comes down to football. And it's like I really compare my play style to him because it's like he doesn't back down to nothing. So it's like
I hear you. Well,
he doesn't back down to anything. So it's like
don't back down from nobody. I like it. Now, well, fellas, look, I'm definitely gonna hang around and talk with y'all after we got end the show. But man, I want to thank y'all so much. Y'all, let's give the Higgins football team a round of applause for coming on the show. Young men did a great job. Thank y'all so much for coming and chiming in. But this ain't gonna be it now. We're gonna have to get y'all back on during the football season. We're gonna keep up. But look, we're looking forward to y'all having a great season. Well, y'all, that does it for another episode of Inside the Trenches. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Godwyn Realty. We want to thank Small Sliders for having us here to host the show. We want to thank 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. That's my man Alberto over at Montero Motors representing. Remember, y'all can check out us right here on ESPN 100.3 FM weekly, 6 to 8. Right here on Inside the Trenches, we live here. And listen, if y'all missed any of the shows, we can go on demand, baby. ESPN 1000.3 FM. And remember, the New Orleans Talk Network YouTube channel. Y'all can check this interview out. We'll be back next Monday. Football season is in swing, baby. We're excited. Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans.
Disposal jam? Can't fix it? You know who can?
Let's go.
Rulerman can. 262.
Texting enrolled you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message data may apply.
Tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Total T lets you try before you buy. Just text BACK to 369-369 to claim your complimentary sample. Why have millions of men already trusted Nugenix for a men-boosting increase in their testosterone levels? Well, nothing else is like it. It contains Tesnor, a key ingredient shown to work. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you feel better at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand and #1 at GNC and #1 at Walmart. But don't take our word for it. Try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. Text BACK to 369-369. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Toyota's national sales event is in full swing. Get rugged 2024 Toyota Tundra with 3.9% for 72 months. Check out the all-new redesigned 2025 Toyota Camry with class-lift 51 MPG. Greg LeBlanc Toyota is also receiving truckloads of the all-new and completely redesigned 2024 Toyota Tacoma. It's truck month, and the deals are sizzling hot. Check out GregLeBlancToyota.com for the full list of inventory and online sessions only at Greg LeBlanc Toyota in Houma.
Visit Hollywood Casino, Gulf Coast this summer for exciting live sports action. We've got the biggest screens around and the best food and drink. Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 in Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win. Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today. Hollywood Casino, Gulf Coast is your live sports headquarters. Bring your crew for all the action. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-777-9696.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college, and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com.
Home Health Services in South Lafourche